Hello viewers, today I'm going to discuss in this video I'm going to discuss about anterior triangle. Today in this video I will discuss about the boundaries of anterior triangle and I will discuss about the muscular triangle. So regarding the introduction of the anterior triangle, before moving on, we all know that the side of neck is divided into two triangles by a muscle present over here, which is sternocleidomastoid muscle. We all know that there is a presence of a muscle which or sternocleidomastoid muscle which is present obliquely on the side of neck, on the side of neck on each side. So this sternocleidomastoid muscle divides each side of neck into two triangles, that is the anterior triangle and posterior triangle. So here today I am concerned about the anterior triangle. We will be discussing about the boundaries of the anterior triangle and the muscular triangles present in the anterior triangle. Okay, so what is the boundary of the anterior triangle? Medially, it is formed by the midline, which extends from the base of mandible to the manubrium, and laterally we have the anterior border of sternocleidomastoid muscle. Okay, and further this anterior triangle is divided into further smaller triangles. We will discuss it in the later slide. So here in this picture you can appreciate this muscle. This is the sternocleidomastoid muscle. This picture this picture is showing the side of neck, and this muscle which I have marked with red color is the sternocleidomastoid muscle. This muscle is present obliquely on the side of neck, and it is dividing the side of neck into two triangles, the anterior triangle and the posterior triangle. This area is the posterior triangle which is marked with yellow, and again this area is the anterior triangle. This whole area is the anterior triangle which I have marked with blue. Okay, so that this sternocleidomastoid muscle divides the side of neck into two triangles. Here I have marked the sternocleidomastoid muscle with red, and this is the sternocleidomastoid muscle which I have marked with red. Okay, so this is the sternocleidomastoid muscle which is dividing the side of neck into two triangles, the anterior triangle. Here I am marking it with blue. This is the anterior triangle. This whole area is the anterior triangle. So and this area is the posterior triangle. This area is the posterior triangle which I have marked with yellow. So the area which I have marked with blue is the anterior triangle, and the muscle which I have marked with red is the sternocleidomastoid muscle, and the area posteriorly which I have marked with yellow color is the posterior triangle. तो हमारे नेक में, साइड ऑफ नेक में एक मसल होती है स्टर्नोक्लीडोमास्टोइड मसल, जो कि ऑब्लिकली प्लेस्ड है हमारे नेक में. इस मसल के दिस मसल डिवाइड्स द नेक, द साइड ऑफ नेक. ये मसल स्टर्नोक्लीडोमास्टोइड मसल जो कि ऑब्लिकली प्लेस्ड है हमारे साइड ऑफ नेक में, ऑन ईच साइड ऑफ आवर नेक. ये मसल साइड ऑफ नेक को दो ट्राइंगल्स में डिवाइड कर देता है. एक जो आगे है दैट इज़ नोन एज एंटीरियर ट्राइंगल, और जो कि उसके पीछे है दैट इज़ नोन एज पोस्टीरियर ट्राइंगल. जो पीछे है उसको पोस्टीरियर ट्राइंगल कहते हैं, और जो आगे है, जो ट्राइंगल इस मसल के आगे है, स्टर्नोक्लीडोमास्टोइड मसल के आगे है, उसको कहते हैं एंटीरियर ट्राइंगल. ओके, नाउ तो let's discuss the boundaries of the anterior triangle here only. In this picture I have marked the anterior triangle with blue. So okay, okay, so medially the boundary of the anterior triangle is this line. This is the medial line, this is the midline. Okay, wait a minute. So this is the medially we have the midline which extends from the base of mandible to the the manubrium. ठीक है, so this is the midline. Then we have the okay, now this is the laterally we have the anterior border of sternocleidomastoid muscle. Okay, laterally we have the anterior border of sternocleidomastoid muscle. The base is formed by the base of mandible and a line drawn from angle of mandible to the mastoid process. So here you can understand the boundaries very well. Medially we have the midline which extends from the base of mandible to the manubrium. Below we have manubrium. Okay, and laterally you can see here the sternocleidomastoid muscle. This is the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Wait a minute. Okay, here. This muscle is the sternocleidomastoid muscle, which I am marking with blue. So I have marked its anterior border with red color and the posterior border with black color. So the boundary, the lateral boundary of the anterior triangle is formed by the anterior border of sternocleidomastoid muscle. Make it very clear that the lateral boundary of the anterior triangle is formed by anterior border of sternocleidomastoid muscle, and the base is formed by the base of mandible and a line drawn from the angle of mandible to the mastoid process. This is the angle of mandible. Here you can see this is the angle of mandible. From here to the mastoid process, imaginary line is drawn. So this is the base of mandible. Okay, this base of mandible and a line drawn from angle of mandible to the mastoid process. Okay, now let's discuss this in Hindi also. Okay, so एक ट्राइंगल है, ये एंटीरियर ट्राइंगल. तो ट्राइंगल है तो उसकी एक मीडियल बाउंड्री है और एक लेटरल बाउंड्री है. तो मीडियल बाउंड्री जो है वो बनती है थ्रू द मिड लाइन. एक मिड लाइन एक मिड लाइन है जो कि एक्सटेंड करेगा बेस ऑफ मैंडिबल से मैन्यूब्रियम की तक. यहाँ पे हमने इस मिड लाइन को मार्क किया है ब्लू लाइन से. एंड एक लेटरली हमारे पास मसल है, ऑब्लिकली प्लेस्ड है, जो कि नेक में, दैट इज़ द स्टर्नोक्लीडोमास्टोइड मसल. वो स्टर्नोक्लीडोमास्टोइड मसल है. उसकी एक एंटीरियर बॉर्डर है और एक पोस्टीरियर बॉर्डर है. एंटीरियर बॉर्डर को हमने यहाँ पे मार्क किया है रेड कलर से. तो जो लेटरल बाउंड्री है इस एंटीरियर ट्राइंगल की, वो इस स्टर्नोक्लीडोमास्टोइड मसल के एंटीरियर बॉर्डर से बनेगी. ठीक है. बेस जो है, बेस यहाँ पे मैंडिबल है. ये मैंडिबल के द बेस, इस ट्राइंगल का बेस जो है मैंडिबल के बेस से, और एक लाइन, एक इमेजिनरी लाइन ड्रॉ करेंगे एंगल ऑफ मैंडिबल से मैस्टोइड प्रोसेस तक. तो ये हमारा बेस बनाएगा जो कि हमने यहाँ पे येलो कलर से मार्क किया है. तो ये हो गई हमारी एंटीरियर ट्राइंगल. Now in this triangle, again here in this picture you can see both the anterior triangle and the posterior triangle. Okay, it's very well marked here with the red color. You can see the anterior triangle. You can understand the boundaries of the anterior triangle. This anterior, the midline is medially we have the midline, laterally we have the anterior border of sternocleidomastoid muscle, and here this is the sternocleidomastoid muscle, and the base is formed by the base of mandible and a line drawn from the angle of mandible to the mastoid process. Okay, so this is the boundary of the anterior triangle. So here in this slide, it just mentioned about the boundaries of the anterior triangle, which I have discussed in the earlier slide. Okay, so here anterior median plane of neck medially, then we have the sternocleidomastoid muscle laterally, and the base of mandible and a line joining the angle of mandible to the mastoid process superiorly. ठीक है. Again, in this picture you can see the boundaries of the anterior triangle, just to make it more clear, so that you can understand it. Okay, so sorry, wait a minute. Make a new diagram. This is the so this triangle which I have made here is the anterior triangle. Medially we have the midline, then laterally we have the anterior border of sternocleidomastoid, and superiorly the base is formed by the base of mandible and a line drawn from the angle of mandible to the mastoid process. So this is the boundary of the anterior triangle. Now this triangle is divided into further smaller triangles by two muscles present over here. Okay, now here you can see this muscle which is placed over here. Sorry, this muscle and this muscle. Okay, this muscle which I have marked with yellow color, this is the omohyoid muscle, and in the anterior the omohyoid muscle has two bellies, the superior belly and inferior belly. This omohyoid muscle arises from the scapula near the suprascapular notch. ठीक है, ये ओमोहॉयड मसल है. ओमोहॉयड मसल की दो बेलीज होती हैं, एक सुपीरियर और एक इन्फीरियर. ये ओमोहॉयड मसल ओरिजिन लेता है स्कैपुला से. स्कैपुला में भी ये स्कैपुला में सुप्रा स्कैपुलर नॉच होता है. सुप्रा स्कैपुलर नॉच के पास से ये ओरिजिन लेता है, एंड ये जो इसकी सुपीरियर बेली और इन्फीरियर बेली एक इंटरमीडिएट टेंडन से अटैच है बिहाइंड द स्टर्नोक्लीडोमास्टॉइड. यहाँ स्टर्नोक्लीडोमास्टॉइड है, दिस इज द स्टर्नोक्लीडोमास्टॉइड. ये जो रेड कलर से मैंने मार्क किया ये स्टर्नोक्लीडोमास्टॉइड है. तो ये जो सुपीरियर बेली और इन्फीरियर बेली है ओमोहॉयड की, ये दोनों ही कनेक्टेड होता है एक इंटरमीडिएट टेंडन से डीप टू स्टर्नोक्लीडोमास्टॉइड मसल. स्टर्नोक्लीडोमास्टॉइड मसल है जो कि यहाँ पे आई हैव मार्क्ड विथ रेड कलर. सो द इंटरमीडिएट टेंडन ऑफ द सुपीरियर बेली एंड द inferior belly of omohyoid will be present deep to this sternocleidomastoid muscle. Now, the anterior triangle is divided into further smaller triangles by two muscles, the superior belly of omohyoid and the anterior belly of Now I have marked here two muscles. The red color is indicating the anterior belly of digastric muscle, and the yellow color is indicating the superior belly of omohyoid muscle. These two muscles which are present in the anterior triangle divides the anterior triangle into further smaller triangles. ये दो मसल, एक तो एंटेरियर बेली है डायगेस्ट्रिक की और दूसरी सुपेरियर बेली है ओमोहॉयड की. ये दो मसल एंटेरियर ट्रायंगल को डिवाइड कर देता है छोटे छोटे ट्रायंगल्स में. व्हाट आर दीज ट्रायंगल्स? दे आर सबमेंटल डायगेस्ट्रिक ट्रायंगल और सबमैंडिबुलर ट्रायंगल, द मस्कुलर ट्रायंगल एंड द कैरोटिड ट्रायंगल. So the anterior triangle is subdivided by digastric muscle and the superior belly of omohyoid muscle into further smaller triangles. The names of these triangles are submental triangle, digastric triangle, carotid triangle, and muscular triangle. So here in this picture we can see all the triangles of the subdivisions of the anterior triangle, the smaller triangles which are present in the anterior triangle. Okay, now here you can see this this region which is present anterior to the anterior belly of your digastric muscle is the submental triangle. Okay, and this is this is the submental, the which I have marked with yellow color, and this triangle which I have marked with the red color is the digastric triangle or submandibular triangle. And again this is the this is the carotid triangle, so which I have marked with blue, and this is the muscular triangle which I have marked with black color. So this is the muscular triangle. Here I have marked the submental triangle with yellow color, and I have marked with red color the submandibular triangle or the digastric triangle. I have marked with blue color the carotid triangle, and with black color the muscular triangle. Again here in this picture you can see, you can appreciate the subdivisions of the anterior triangle very clearly. You can see this is the submental triangle which I am marking with the yellow triangle. This arrow is indicating towards the submental triangle. Okay, then this is the submandibular triangle, then this is the carotid triangle, and this is the this is the muscular triangle. So these are the four smaller triangles present in the anterior triangle. Now today in this video I will discuss about the muscular triangle. Okay, so muscular triangle is the boundaries of the muscular triangle. Anteriorly we have the anterior median line of the neck extending from the hyoid bone to the suprasternal notch. Okay, and anterosuperior, the anterosuperior there is superior belly of omohyoid, and posterior inferior there is anterior border of sternocleidomastoid muscle. Okay, so here in this picture you can see this is the muscular triangle, which you can see here I have drawn with this is the muscular triangle which I have drawn with blue color. Okay, so okay, so the boundaries of this muscular triangle are, we have anteriorly the anterior median line which extends from the hyoid bone. Here you can see this is the hyoid bone which I am marking with the red color. Okay, here this is the hyoid bone, and then anterior median line means a line which is extending from the hyoid bone to the suprasternal notch or to the sternum. ठीक है. Now posterior superiorly we have the superior belly of omohyoid, and then posterior inferiorly we have the lower part of anterior border of sternocleidomastoid muscle. Okay, so here you can see this muscle which I am marking with yellow is the superior belly of omohyoid, and this muscle, this is the anterior border of sternocleidomastoid muscle. So this, you can see a triangle is formed here. This is the muscular triangle. Now roof and floor of muscular triangle. Roof, whenever we talk about roof, when we do dissection, we will first of all reflect the skin, then you get the subcutaneous tissue, then you get what, in the neck region we will get the platysma muscle, and then deep to that we get deep fascia. In this region we will get the investing layer of deep cervical fascia. Okay, then and associated lymph nodes. So here it is written, roof is formed by the investing layer of the deep cervical fascia. The superficial fascia over the roof contains the anterior jugular vein. In the roof of this muscular triangle, in the superficial fascia we get anterior jugular vein and some lymph nodes are present. Okay, then the floor of this triangle is formed by by some muscle which are known as infrahyoid muscle. The infrahyoid muscle, the sternohyoid, the sternothyroid, and the thyrohyoid and omohyoid muscle. Okay, sternothyroid, sternohyoid, omohyoid, and thyrohyoid. These muscles, these all four muscles are known as infrahyoid muscle. Okay, these muscles are present in this region in two layers, superficial and deep layers. The sternohyoid and omohyoid are present superficial, and the sternothyroid and the thyrohyoid muscle are present deep to these muscles. So these muscles forms the floor of the muscular triangle. So what will be the contents? In the contents, these muscles also come: the infrahyoid muscle, the sternothyroid, the sternohyoid, and thyrohyoid muscle. Here you can see there is two muscle in which sternum word is coming, sternothyroid and sternohyoid. Means this sternohyoid muscle is the superficial, it is long muscle which extends from the sternum to hyoid. sternum से आ रही है, hyoid तक जा रही है, sternohyoid. Then we have the sternothyroid. Sternothyroid means it's coming from the sternum to the thyroid cartilage. ठीक है, तो ये दो मसल है, sternohyoid, sternothyroid. And then we have the thyrohyoid. The thyrohyoid means it is present between the thyroid and hyoid. thyroid cartilage और hyoid bone के बीच में ये मसल present है. और दूसरी एक और मसल है, that is omohyoid. Omohyoid, which is forming the boundary of this muscular triangle, will also come in the you can say it is forming the floor of the muscular triangle also. And in this region what all structure you get here in the muscular triangle. अगर deep structure की बात करें तो हमें यहाँ पे we will get, first of all we will get the thyroid gland here, then we get the trachea here, larynx यहाँ मिलेगी, larynx, trachea and the esophagus in this triangle. You get these all structures in this triangle. So here in this picture you can see the infrahyoid muscle is shown here. Okay, so here this muscle is the sternohyoid muscle. You can see it is present between the sternum and the hyoid bone. You can see this, it is present between the sternum and hyoid bone, sternohyoid. Then you can see the omohyoid muscle also here. This muscle which I am marking with blue is the omohyoid. So the so this muscle which it has two bellies, the superior belly and an inferior belly, the omohyoid muscle. So the superior belly here I have marked with blue color and the inferior belly is marked with yellow color, and these two bellies are connected through intermediate tendon. Okay, so here you can see this omohyoid muscle is present in the muscular triangle. Okay, it forms the boundary of the muscular triangle. So the posterior superior boundary is formed by the superior belly of omohyoid. Okay, now so here you can see two muscle, the sternohyoid and omohyoid muscle. Okay, then the two small muscles also you can see here. When you will reflect this sternohyoid, you will be able to see the thyrohyoid here and sternothyroid from the sternum to this is the okay, I am using black color to mark both the sternothyroid and the thyrohyoid muscle. So here you can see this muscle which I am point with my pointer, if you can see. Okay, wait a minute, I'm marking this here I am marking this with yellow color, the sternothyroid muscle, and then I am marking with black color the thyrohyoid muscle. The sternothyroid muscle is present between the sternum and the thyroid cartilage, and the thyrohyoid muscle is present between the thyroid cartilage and the hyoid bone. So these muscles forms the contents of the muscular triangle, and these muscles forms the floor of the muscular triangle. Okay, so today I have discussed in this video, I have discussed about the boundaries of the anterior triangle and regarding the muscular triangle. I hope at the here when I am finishing my video, you must the idea must have gone clear in your mind about the boundaries. एक आइडिया मिल गया होगा कि क्या होती है एंटीरियर ट्रायंगल की बाउंड्रीज एंड कैसे इसको डिवाइड करते हैं फर्दर स्मॉलर ट्रायंगल्स में, and I have discussed about the muscular triangle also. So you must have understood regarding the muscular triangle and regarding the boundaries of the anterior triangle. Thank you so much.